guys? Billy here, Storm Trades. Let's do another trade recap. And just like we do every time, I'll bring you through my simple process of establishing a daily bias, how I read the market structure time frame, which for me is the hourly, and ultimately how I found my oil trade during this morning's AM session. That's today, Wednesday, May 13th, 2025. So let's dig in, always starting on the daily. When I show up to the charts, I will typically delete all of the information from the previous day. I just want to have a complete blank canvas and just start to read price and read order flow. So what we have here is the last 4 days here. This is the daily. Um, these are the daily candles here. And you'll see me do this over and over again. Um, I, s- I want to try and make this as simple as possible, so I set up my charts very similarly every day, right? So at first, I'll mark out previous daily low and the previous daily high, right? I also want to take a look at how did we close um, the most recent previous days, right? Did we have strong closes or did we have sweeps and we've moved back into a range? Well, it's sort of clear here. You can see that we've just been absolutely destroying it long here. But I'll mark that out. I'll show that uh, we had a strong close here, very strong close. We had another strong close on yesterday's candle. Okay, so at this point, I'm I'm seeing that price wants to continue to reach higher. And then we add in the fact that we had a large daily inverted fair value gap that we had displaced through, right? So if there was even more confluence that we were most likely headed higher, that was it. At this point, I always want to draw a fib, okay, so I can get the 50% level of the previous daily candle. And I just want to see what we're doing in respect to that. So at this point, um, we've already begun to start closing, at least on hourly, you'll be able to see above the 50%. So all things are pointed up. Now we want to look for, do we have some additional draws on liquidity? All right, so we do in the form of a swing high, which is fairly close to the previous daily high. And we even have an additional swing high above that. So all things looking bullish. It doesn't have to be more complicated than this. This actually can be done in less than 3 minutes. Um, and then it's no surprise that I was expecting price to head higher here. All right, that's it. There's nothing else to start to look at. I just want to move on to the hourly and try and make it that as simple process as possible as well. All right. So let me bring in the hourly chart. Okay, and clearly the hourly, if we have bullish candles like this on the daily, we're going to see an uptrend, right? Now there are certain signatures in price that we're looking for on the hourly. We want to see changes in the state of delivery, right? So we actually had started to retrace here, but at this point right there, we had a change in the state of delivery to begin to move higher. And we also made that out of a bullish hourly fair value gap, which is marked out right here. Okay. There's the change in the state of delivery. At this point, when I have a change in state of delivery and we're delivering out of a hourly POI, I will like to draw a fib just to try and get some just to get some levels on here. So obviously we have yet to hit the -2 to -2.5 standard, and the -4 to -4.5 lines up nicely with the previous daily high and this most recent swing high, right? So now what I'm looking for now is where is the most recent POI and the most relevant to the move that we're expecting, right? So what we're doing is we're going to take trades from hourly swing points and from hourly internal range liquidity, which we find in the form of fair value gaps. So where's the the closest bullish fair value gap, okay, is right there. It is a little bit small, but it doesn't matter. This fair value gap is an indication that we are headed higher. What we would ideally like to see is some sort of a retracement, um, starting with the 9 o'clock hourly candle, back down into that. And then at that level, we will be taking a look at the M5 uh, uh, execution time frame to see if there's any way for us to get on sides to a move higher. So this is what I'm looking for on the hourly time frame, right? So I'm bullish on the daily. I'm bullish on the hourly market structure. I don't need both of those to be uh, both headed in the right direction to make a trade. But when I do have both of them pointed in the right direction, the high time frame bias and the market structure and order flow, then I just have a higher conviction and therefore just have a little more confidence in taking a trade and trying to get on sides. That's all. Price can and will do whatever it wants, whenever it wants, and that's fine. I'm just looking to stack the deck and provide just a little bit more of a higher probability that my trade will work out. Okay, so that was the 8 o'clock candle that formed the that formed the hourly fair value gap. If we move forward, we will see. Actually, let's go right here. Let's at this point, let's go down to the M5, clean up the chart a little bit, and we'll be waiting to see if we can get a move down into the um, hourly fair value gap. And then we will be watching to see what happens after that. So at this point, there's no trade here. There's nothing at all. My requirement for my model is we have to be delivering from a high time frame POI. So we're watching price. And at this point, okay, it's at 9:20. We have now come down into the hourly fair value gap. I am now interested in watching price even closer now to finding out if there's a potential trade here. At this point, I will mark out this M5 fair value gap, and there's another one right here. And I'll be watching to see how price reacts out of these. If we invert them, okay, then I'm very interested in potentially getting on sides. However, there's not a lot of structure here, so I'm going to need a little more confluence. All right. So just watching price. So far, we've been respecting, and boom, at that point, we've displaced through both of these M5 fair value gaps, making them inversion fair value gaps. And at the same time, we had SMT with RB. Okay. So I've now got confluence I've been looking for. We have reacted exactly the way I expected from the high time frame POI. And at this very next candle, we retrace, and I got in right here. Okay. And let's here, stop below the low, take profit, 2R, and we'll play price out here. Very little drawdown, almost right to profit. It's a beautiful trade, and I'll show you. This is the trade here that I had posted in the Discord, and as it was forming, um, I was going through this trade with the people in the CL gang and Unicorn University. That's our channel. We trade CL in, and it was a quick hit, and it's a good trade. Hope everybody enjoyed that. If you got anything out of it, subscribe, like, do whatever you want. Um, I'm just gonna keep updating you with my trade progress, and you guys have a great day.